I don't always talk about the Democratic primary campaign. Some regular listeners will know I am the writer for the campaign. Obviously, a lot of people, especially Bernie Sanders, write for the campaign. So anything I say about it should be taken in that light. But there's been a lot of discussion lately about who Bernie's supporters are and what they want. And I do have a couple thoughts about that to share. And I have to say, I largely agree with Sean Good and Matt Karp, who wrote in Jacobin magazine a piece entitled What Bernie Supporters Want. First of all, I'll tell you from my point of view and from my experience, what they want is for Bernie Sanders to win. And they want him to be given every chance to win the Democratic nomination. They want to know the process was just and fair. In many cases, it has not been fair. In many cases, we can't know, but it has not appeared to be fair. So it would be incumbent upon the Democratic Party to give him every chance to contest this contest. So I would argue that's one thing that Bernie Sanders supporters wants. I would also say, I want to say a couple words about, there is a large culture out there of people who make their living in a very comfortable niche of either academia or political consulting or political commentary, journalism, and punditry. And that niche is being threatened a lot by the rise not only of Bernie Sanders, the candidate, but of the political phenomenon which he represents. The whole notion that the outmoded third-way Democratic Party, neoliberal liberalism, might be endangered has gotten a lot of people very upset, I think, out consciously or not, out of self-interest. So I think we're hearing a lot of commentary now designed to dismiss Bernie Sanders' supporters and the movement they represent, designed to trivialize them, stereotype them, mock them, or dismiss them. Now, some of that language is very vague. You know, you hear talk about Bernie bros, and it then becomes necessary to remind people that, in fact, Bernie Sanders does slightly better among millennial women than he does among millennial men. But the stereotype of the sexist, macho online Bernie bro is a very good way to dismiss the political shift which Bernie Sanders and his movement represents. So you see that, but you also see a more intellectual form of commentary designed to dismiss Bernie Sanders, and that would be what I would argue we are seeing with, for example, someone like Paul Krugman, who in many ways has been very good over the years in defending what I would call the liberal position for those who are conventional in their economic thinking. He feels threatened. Others feel threatened. I think it's going to be important to understand that when we start hearing dismissive talk about Bernie Sanders, because I think a real shift is taking place, and I want to be part of it.